Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Penny. I am a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon. And today I'm excited to be bringing you finally my comparison of two microneedling devices from Dr. Pen, the new Ultima A7, and I will be comparing it to the Ultima A6. I have had the Ultima A6 for quite a long time. I gifted it to a friend, I repurchased it, and I did do an unboxing and kind of a basic overview of this pen. I will link that in the cards if you want to kind of get caught up and check out this pen first. Today we're going to go through the specs, we're going to compare them, I'm going to give you my recommendations, and we're just going to see how they stack up against each other. So let's get right into it. We are going to start with the power source. So the Ultima A6, this guy that is silver with blue, it is a cordless device. The box comes with two battery packs that screw into the device that you can charge up. You are also able to actually plug this one into the wall. So it has that option of either using one of the two battery packs or plugging it directly into the wall. As far as the A7 is only a corded pen. So you have to use the included cord in order for the pen to work. Okay, so that's actually a really important difference. Now, as far as the cords themselves, something I think that is worth noting is that they are the same length cord. They both have a 5-volt output out of the, out of the wall. So while they're slightly different in the actual part that plugs into the pen, the cord overall looks pretty identical. So you're not getting any additional length with the A7, but you do have to be attached to the wall. I think that's a huge thing to know, that with the A6 you have the versatility of the cordless option. Now with that, of course, there are different specs as far as the power. Now according to Dr. Pen, the A6 gets up to 8,000 RPM and the A7 gets up to 18,000 RPM. So clearly that means that the A7 is a stronger motor than the A6. But I do think that that is probably one of the very biggest differentiating factors is A7 has to be plugged into the wall. A6 is cordless with a wall plug-in option, but more powerful, less powerful. Okay, next we're going to talk about the depth of the needles, the how you can choose the depths. Now, on the A6, we have this dial here. It has a little arrow. You can swivel that dial and choose the millimeter depth that you want your needles to go. And this one goes from 0 to 2.5 millimeters. On the A7, you have a similar choice up here where the cartridge would be. You have 0 to 2.5. I will say this one feels a tiny bit more smooth, but they're very similar as far as you go from 0 to 2.5 millimeters and that little dial is near the cartridge. So in that way, they're very similar. The next comparison is going to be with the cartridges. Both of these have the ability to switch out the cartridges. Now, as far as which cartridges you can get, the A6, you can get 12, 24, 36, you can get 42, and you can get nano. You can get all of those same cartridges with the A7. And what I did find is that they're very similarly priced. The A6, for example, a 10-piece, 12-pin cartridge pack is going to cost you $32.47. On the A7, the 10-piece 12-pin is $32.64. So literally, you guys, a difference of less than 20 cents as far as the 12-pin 10 packs. Tiny bit more expensive, but very similarly priced for the cartridges. Okay, as far as the design goes, on the A6, obviously the number one thing is that it's cordless. Now, it is very similar in length. When I have the battery in the A6, they're practically the same length. I would say the A6 is possibly a couple millimeters longer than the A7, but they're essentially the same. They feel about the same as far as the weight. The difference would be that the A7 is a smooth design in the body of the pen, and the A6 has, areas of notching, and I honestly can't decide which one is better. Part of me feels like there's a place to you know, kind of rest your fingers with those notches. But at the same time, that smooth design is nice as well. I'm partial to the notches because I feel like it gives you a little bit of control because there's somewhere for your fingers to stop. But I think that that comes down to preference. As far as the cartridges are concerned with the design, on both pens, they go into the end and they corkscrew in, lock in, and then there they are. So they go in similarly. Something to note, if you are someone who will have both of these pens like I do, they are color coordinated. So the blue cartridge goes with the A6, so blue goes with blue, and then with the A7, they are gray or, you know, black, if you will. It's a translucent black, goes with black. And I kind of like that. I think that that was very, very smart because for people like me who have multiple devices, it's nice to be able to differentiate the cartridges because the cartridges don't fit each other. You cannot put an A7 into an A6 pen and vice versa. So the cartridges are definitely specific to the pen. A big, big, big difference is that the A7 cartridges are 34 gauge needles in everything other than the nano, of course. And the A6, I had a lot of trouble finding out the gauge of these needles. Now, standard for most microneedling pens is a 33 gauge. And to understand this a little bit better, the higher the number, the finer the needle. So 34 is actually super, super fine, which is going to cause less trauma to your skin and is also going to be less painful. You're going to feel it less when you're microneedling. So you definitely do get a finer gauge cartridge with your A7. 33 is pretty standard. It's not like, you know, that's something out of the ordinary or anything like that. This just happens to be a little extraordinary. If you are somebody who does know the gauge of these needles, I would love it if you would comment that down below because I searched high and low for this and I could not find the gauge anywhere. And I have definitely seen discussions happening online where people were talking about the gauges. I just don't know where they got that information. I did email Dr. Pen, I did call Dr. Pen, and I did a ton of research. Could not find the gauge on this. Okay, so let's compare the speed settings on each of these pens. Starting with the A6, like I showed you in the video previously where I did the unboxing, the speed settings are at the bottom by the battery pack. You press and hold the button to turn it on. That is going to be at your base speed, and you can see that the light is flashing slowly. As you raise the speed by pressing that button, the light corresponds flashing faster as the speed gets faster. So you're able to increase the speed 4 times above the base level speed. Press and hold, and this will turn off. Now on the A7, it's got a little bit different of a mechanism. This is just the on-off button, one press. Then it has a turnstile mechanism that you turn to increase the speed. And so when you're at the highest point there, it is the fastest speed. When you turn it all the way down, you're at the slowest speed. So I think that the difference with that is really just kind of a preference thing. Obviously, this one gets up to 18,000 RPMs. This one gets to 8,000 RPMs. That's quite a difference in, you know, the RPMs, obviously. More fine. So to summarize the differences, guys, and I think that just to get down to the bare bones, you've got a corded pen that has to be tethered to the wall, but it does have a significantly stronger motor. You have a cordless pen that makes it a little bit more versatile. You do not have to be tethered to the wall, and you can plug it into the wall. So that leads to a little bit of versatility. You get the same amount of cartridges for about the same price, and they are a finer gauge needle. Same price for these cartridges, but you're going to get that standard gauge needle. So if the gauge of the needle is of importance to you, then definitely the A7 is the better pick. If you don't care about that or you feel like that's minutia, then this is definitely a fantastic pen. And again, I did say this before, if you already own the A6 and you don't feel that you need to upgrade, you don't feel like it's time for you to get a new pen, then you don't need to have the A7. I definitely want to really emphasize that because I'm also ordering the M5, which is another cordless version of the Dr. Pen, and I will be doing a little comparison of these two because they will be more apples to apples because they're both cordless. And I just don't ever want you guys to think you have to buy all of these things. The only reason why I bought the A7 was to be able to compare it for you. So I just can't emphasize that enough that you don't need both. Okay, so the price of the pens is pretty similar. They're both in the $140 to $150 range. I will say that on Dr. Pen, on their website, the A7 is marked down to $142 from like $250 or something like that. Whereas the A6 is just already at about $140. It doesn't look like it's been marked down. It looks like that is the price. So I don't know if at some point, once this isn't brand new, if this will go up to the price that they have kind of marked out. I'm not sure if that's a marketing tool or if it will ever go up, but it does say it's on sale for the same price as the A6. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to be doing a full protocol of my face, and I'm going to be filming that on Wednesday. You guys are actually watching this on Wednesday. I'm filming this on Monday the 12th, and tomorrow is my wedding anniversary, so today is not the day to do a microneedling demo. My husband's taking me to dinner tomorrow night, so I'm thinking I'm going to microneedle the next day after that. So on Sunday, this coming Sunday, I will post a protocol, and I will use both of these needling pens in that video. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe to this channel. There's gonna be a bunch of these. There's gonna be a series of microneedling videos because, like I said, the M5 is coming now so that I can do some comparisons of that one. And also I will just be doing some protocols with all of these different pens of décolleté, of neck, of hands. They're all in the works, and I'll be rolling those out in the next probably 3 weeks. So I would love it if you guys would subscribe. I'd love it if you gave this video a thumbs up, and definitely, if you can, tap the bell so that you know when I put videos out. I really thank you guys for being here. Any questions that you want to leave in the comment section, I will address them in our Friday Q&A, and it's only in 2 days, so I think that that'll give us a great opportunity to get some questions answered really quickly and more thoroughly than me just writing you back in the comments. So I will see you guys on Friday in the Q&A, and then on Sunday, we'll do a little microneedling and we'll get a little protocol going. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.